Joining me in studio is Siza Mzimela, the CEO of South African Airways. Siza, thank you very much for your time this morning. Just looking at the fact that your time at South African Express or SA Express, do you feel that prepared you for your role as CEO of South African Airways?
I have no doubt that it did. It definitely, played a major role in preparing me because it allowed me to experience, the full range of what I would expect at SA, but on a much smaller scale.
You've also just been appointed to the International Air Transport Board of Directors, the first woman in its 67-year history. That's a pretty hefty accolade. What exactly does it mean?
That basically means that I'm able to represent not only South African Airways, but also the region as well, because I'm a representative for the African region in all of the matters pertaining to the airline industry at that level.
Going back to the broader industry, the airline industry is a notoriously tough one. There are a number of external factors at play, and namely, let's talk here about the oil price and the exchange rate. Aren't you daunted that those elements you can't control, daunted by the fact that you can't control those elements?
I guess that's what makes the airline industry so interesting, because there are always these things that you cannot actually control. If it's not the fuel price, it's volcanic ash, it strikes in another country that has an impact on you. It's SARS, which is what we had a couple of years ago. So there are always these things that are outside of our control, and I guess it just makes it that much more interesting, because you always have to be thinking on your feet and trying to find a different way to counter some of those issues.
So is that, in terms of navigating those challenges, is it all about thinking on your feet? On a day-to-day basis, do you deal with new challenges?
Definitely. I say that there's never a day that's the same in the airline industry. There's never 2 days that they're the same. It's always, it always feels like you've got a new challenge every single day.
I also want to drill down into your thoughts on leadership. And let's start with what you feel it takes to be a good leader.
I think, what it takes to be a good leader is firstly to understand yourself and understand yourself well. Understand what your strengths are and your weaknesses are, because once you know that, at least you then take the next step, which is to make sure that you surround yourself with good people.